Welcome to another Explainer. Today, we are diving into a truly incredible transformation and a system that is just ridiculously actionable. We're looking at entrepreneur Dan Martell's exact blueprint for going from absolute zero to $1 million. But here's the crazy twist. He has completely supercharged this entire roadmap using artificial intelligence. We're talking about taking what used to take years of grueling work and literally collapsing it into mere days and weeks. So, if you've been searching for a direct, step-by-step guide to building a profitable business from scratch, well, you are in exactly the right place. Just listen to this quote from Dan Martell. He said, "I became a cash millionaire at 27, but before that, I'd been to jail, rehab, I had no money and no education." I mean, wow. This isn't just some fluffy business theory. This is a hard-fought framework built from the absolute ground up. Dan started with a deck completely stacked against him. And that establishes the stakes right out of the gate, right? Because if he could build a massive business success coming out of juvenile detention and addiction, it means the system actually works. And today, with the AI tools we're about to cover, those barriers to entry are honestly lower than they have ever been in human history. So here's the 6-step roadmap we're heading today. Find what to build, craft your offer, find your buyers, close the sale, deliver value fast, and take action now. Let's jump right into the first step. Step 1, find what to build. And our guiding rule here, painkillers over vitamins. You know that old cliche advice to just follow your passion? Yeah, toss that out. Instead, you need to look for a genuinely painful problem that people will happily pay to solve. To find that ultimate painkiller, Dan uses a framework he playfully calls the ikigai, which is based on the famous Japanese concept of ikigai. Basically, it's the sweet spot where 4 circles overlap. What do you love to do? What are you naturally good at? What does the world actually need? And most importantly, what are people willing to pay for? A lot of folks treat this like some sort of warm and fuzzy self-discovery exercise, but it's really not. This is straight up market validation because a business is officially born the exact moment you sell something to a stranger. Until that happens, you just have a really expensive hobby. So, how do you actually figure out your intersection without staring blankly at a whiteboard for weeks? Well, you use AI. You can take this exact prompt and drop it into your favorite AI tool. I want to start a business. Interview me one question at a time to help me find my ikigai. Instead of just guessing what you're good at, you're letting an unbiased AI ask you highly targeted questions. It totally challenges your blind spots and helps you lock in on an idea that actually has real market demand. Moving on to step 2, craft your offer. Always remember, a confused buyer never buys. Okay, so knowing what to sell and knowing how to sell it are 2 completely different ballgames. A truly great offer actually boils down to just 4 key components. First step, you need a clear promise. Not a list of features, but the actual life-changing transformation they're going to get. Second is a guarantee. You have to have a risk reversal. You take the risk off their shoulders and put it squarely on yours. Third, a bonus. But listen, not just any random bonus. This has to be a bonus designed specifically to overcome their biggest objection before they even pull out their wallet. And finally, number 4, internal scarcity. Forget those sketchy, fake, only 3 spots left countdown timers. Internal scarcity is way more powerful. It gets the buyer to realize the very painful cost of their own inaction over the next few months. And once again, let's bring in our AI cheat code. Instead of spending weeks trying to suddenly become a world-class copywriter, just describe your new business to an AI. Then tell it to draft an offer with those exact 4 components: a clear promise, a guarantee, 3 objection-handling bonuses, and an internal scarcity angle. Talk about collapsing time. You will literally have a highly structured, psychologically sound first draft of your offer ready to go in maybe 3 minutes. Now, part of your offer is, of course, your pricing, and the psychology behind the 3-tier strategy is absolutely fascinating. Basically, you need 3 distinct price points. The first is your anchor price, a super premium option priced 5 to 10 times higher than what you actually want them to pay. The second is your main offer. This is your real target, and sitting right next to that massive anchor price, it suddenly looks incredibly affordable. And the third is your decoy, a cheaper, stripped-down version that honestly, no one really wants. That decoy is just there to reinforce that the main offer is the absolute, obvious, smartest choice. Before we move on from pricing, I really want you to absorb this thought. Underpricing attracts terrible clients. It's so true. You absolutely have to charge more than you're comfortable with. If you underprice your offer, it just builds resentment. You aren't getting paid enough to deal with the headaches, and you literally don't have enough margin to reinvest in your skills or make the customer's experience any better. At the end of the day, nobody wins when you play the cheap game. Nobody. All right, step 3, find your buyers. Get used to this phrase. Outreach is your job. So you've got a product and you've got an irresistible offer. Now you have to ask yourself, who has my money? Because you definitely can't just sit around waiting for the phone to ring. In the old days, Dan says sending out 5 outreach messages a day was standard hustle. But now you can easily crank out 50 a day using AI tools like Manus. You just tell the tool your ideal customer profile, feed it the offer you literally just generated, and tell it to go find your prospects. And it doesn't just scrape an email address. It actually researches the prospect's recent online activity and auto-generates these highly nuanced, super personalized outreach messages. It is doing hours of heavy lifting in minutes, which makes your response rates just go right through the roof.
And if you want to take it even further, you've got to look at a concept like social sweep. Most people actually already know the individuals who are going to become their very first customers, they just don't realize it yet. A tool like Social Sweep scans your existing social media, your past calendar invites, and your CRM to find people already in your orbit who desperately need what you're selling. Because these are warm leads who already know you, they are incredibly responsive. It is the absolute best place to start generating fast cash.
Step 4, close the sale. For this, we're looking at the rocket selling system. Okay, so you finally got the prospect on a call. The biggest misconception here is that sales is some flawless, high-pressure slick pitch. It's really not. It's actually a staircase. Down at the bottom step is their current reality, what Dan refers to as hell. It's all the painful roadblocks and struggles they're dealing with right this second. Up at the top of the staircase is heaven, their deepest desires and the ultimate solution that your offer provides. Your job on this call isn't to violently push them up the stairs. Your job is simply to ask the right questions so they step up on their own, realizing with every step that they need your help to reach the top. To do this, Dan uses a super structured progression called the 9-box model. I won't read every single box right now, but just notice the flow here. You start with the setup, using AI to thoroughly research them before you even dial. Then you ask about their context, why they decided to jump on the call today and the results they are dreaming of. You are essentially X-raying their entire situation. Once they feel truly seen and deeply heard by you, you finally present your model. You repeat back exactly what they told you they needed, and then you simply ask for the credit card. It's just a totally natural, logical flow based entirely on deep listening. But hold on, here is a massive shortcut for you. Please do not practice this flow on a real-world prospect. That just burns a perfectly good lead. Use this AI practice prompt instead. Tell the AI to act as a highly skeptical prospect in your specific industry. Tell it to push back hard and give you the toughest real-world objections. By the time you get on a Zoom call with an actual human being, you will have already navigated the hardest objections dozens of times. You will be absolutely bulletproof. Step 5, deliver value fast. This is all about curing buyer's remorse. The absolute second they pay you, you enter the danger zone. Seriously, they wake up the next day wondering if they just made a huge mistake. And this brings us to a massively important metric, time to first value, or TTFV. This is the exact speed at which your brand new customer gets their very first win or positive feeling from working with you. If your TTFV is measured in days or weeks, you are in major trouble. But if you can reduce that time from days into mere minutes, you don't just retain that client. You turn them into a raving fan who brings you immediate word-of-mouth referrals. So how do we actually do that in minutes? You guessed it, AI-accelerated onboarding. Here is the 3-step automated flow. First, you have AI build a really comprehensive intake questionnaire. Second, the absolute second their credit card clears, an automated email sends them the link to that questionnaire. Third, when they fill it out, you plug their raw answers into a tool like Claude, and you ask it to instantly generate a custom transformation roadmap based entirely on your process. You then send that beautiful customized roadmap right back to the client. Boom, they've received massive tangible value just minutes after paying, and it required literally zero human intervention on your end. How amazing is that? Which brings us to the core mindset required to pull all of this off. Dan says, start small, start messy, be patient with results, but wildly impatient with action. Endless preparation is a total trap. So many people get stuck in this awful loop of just getting ready to get ready. Listen, the business you launch today will not look like the business that makes you a millionaire, and that is perfectly okay. Taking messy action is the only true path forward. And that brings us to our final step. Step 6, take action now. Let's talk about the cost of waiting.
We've seen Dan go all the way from juvenile detention to millionaire status. It absolutely proves that small, committed actions compound massively over time. Remember earlier when we talked about creating internal scarcity for your buyers? Let's turn that around on you for a second. What is the true cost of you not acting on this right now, over these next few months? If you close this explainer right now and just go back to your exact same routine, what will it cost? Your life, your family, your future? Let that sit with you for a second. That internal scarcity, yeah, it's very real.
So I want to challenge you right here, right now. Drop your answer in the comments below. What is the single thing from this explainer you are going to actually do before your head hits the pillow tonight? Are you going to finally run that Ikigai AI prompt? Are you going to draft up your 3-tier pricing strategy? Make a public commitment down below. Get started, get messy, and take that very first step. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you in the next one.